In this Python tutorial, I have some files that I want to rename. In this to rename folder, I have a bunch of files with different extensions, and I want to rename everything to my name. For example, in this first file, document_1.png, I want it to be shuaib_1.png. I also want the numbers to be serial. For example, the 1, 7, 13, 19, 25, and so on. I want them to be serial. So the second file here will be shuaib_2.png. The third one will be shuaib_3.png. I have this file I created in this project, the Python file, rename.py, where I'm going to write all the scripts that will rename the files for me. So the first thing I will do here is to import OS, which will allow me to interact with the hardware and access the files. So I'll define a function with the def keyword, and I'll name it rename files. This function will take some parameter, and the first parameter will be the folder path, and then the prefix, which will be the name I'm going to use for the files. And it will be a string. I'll call it file underscore. The last one is the file number, file num variable, which will be equal to 1 for the start. Then I'll get the list of files, which will be equal to os.list there, and I'll pass in the folder path. So this os.list there will return all the files and folders in this specified directory and save into the files variable. I can also call the files and sort them. This is optional, but it's useful as well. And I'll set the count variable, which will be equal to the file count or the file num. Now I'm going to look through the files. For file name in files, I'll create a file path for each of the file. Is equal to os.path.join, and I'll join the folder path, the folder path with the file name. And I want to check, because I'm only interested in the files and not the folder, because this os.list there is going to return both files and folder in this specified directory. I want to get only the files. So I will check if os.path.is file, and I'll pass in the file path. So I want to check if the current file we are looking through is a file and not a folder. If that is true, I'm going to create a variable and split the file name by writing underscore comma ext is equal to os dot path dot split text. So we are going to split the file name. So for example, now the document_1.png will be split into two. The first one will be the file name, that is document_1, and the second part will be .png. So I want to retain the extension, it's only the name that I'm going to change. So I'm going to use the variable ext here. So now I can create a new name variable, which is equal to f-string. First of all, I'll get the prefix, which is the first thing. Then I'll get the file number. Sorry, the variable is count. I'll get the count. Then the last thing is the extension. extension, which is the ext variable here. So I'll now create a new path. So the new path is equal to os.path.join. Now I'll join the folder path with the new path, sorry, with the new name. So I'll call the os.rename, passing in the file path. I'm going to rename the file path with the new path. Then count plus equal to 1. So that the next time the loop is going to run, then the num count will be equal to 2. Now I can call this function to rename the file for me. So I'll specify the folder which is equal to, okay, let me open the terminal. Inside the terminal, I have this directory already. So I'll copy this directory and bring it here, underscore to rename. So this is the directory I'm going to use. And remember to put R at the beginning so the Python will return the string as it is, like this. So I'm going to call the rename file, which is the functions I define. I'm passing the folder, then the prefix is going to be Shuaib underscore, and the file num is going to be equal to 1. Now let me run the script, python rename.py. Now let me check. Wow, everything is renamed and the number is now serial. So the first one is Shuaib underscore 1.png. The second one is Shuaib underscore 2.png and up to 100. So anytime I want to use this file, this function, I can call the rename files and pass in the folder path, the prefix, and also the file number.